Hello, welcome back to Virtua Boys. I'm doing a video, the kind of thing that I don't normally do, but this was a special occasion. This is something that mixes my love of retro and current generation games. This is the Turok Dinosaur Hunter remaster, and I'm doing a little kind of comparison. You can see here, I haven't spelt out on screen, but I feel like it's fairly obvious what's the new footage and what's the old footage. So I've got the N64 version here. This is the N64 version you can see here, the Iguana from Iguana Entertainment. Spliced with the remaster, which has been available on Steam, on PC for a little while now, and then it's just released on Xbox One. Turok and Turok 2 have both released. And I thought we'd take a little look at them because I love Turok Dinosaur Hunter. It was the second N64 game I ever bought, after Mario 64, obviously. I played it tons when I was a young boy, and it's really cool to jump back in and see the changes. This isn't a full remake. It's very much a remaster. I mean, you can see all the character models have stayed the same. The visuals, they haven't done any new texture work. They've basically taken the original game. This is the N64 footage is from the Japanese version, if you can't tell. But, same game, doesn't matter. And they've basically cleaned it up. It's in full high definition. It's in full 1080p. It now runs at 60 frames a second, which the original was 20-ish. I mean, you can tell I'm not this isn't Digital Foundry. This is... here, I've got some side-by-side, so it's very, very obvious to see the difference. You can see that the footage on the right from the new version is like super smooth, and the version on the left is a little bit N64 era chunky. But yeah, they've basically just cleaned it up. They haven't gone in and changed the game. If you love Turok Dinosaur Hunter, if you love the N64 version, you're not going to jump in this and go, oh, they've changed all the art style and they've ruined it. It's the game that you remember with some extra graphical flourishes. And what's quite nice is some of the graphical flourishes flourishes is the wrong word, some of the graphical changes they've made, you can actually turn off in the options. It's got a full host of graphics options, which is the kind of thing that you would normally see on a PC game, and it's very rare to see on a console game. And it's nothing complex. It's not nothing that you're going to be confused at if you've never tinkered with graphic settings before. But things like the extended draw distance. So one of the things that Turok's famous for, that you can see in this bit particularly, is the fog. Turok is very, very well known for having ridiculously close fog to hide pop in. And with the remastered version, they've actually extended the distance that the fog loads in. If you want the original fog, you can turn that on in the options. You can say, no, I like the fog. It was a stylistic thing that I quite liked, and you can toggle that back on. The remaster still has fog. I mean, you can still see it here, but look at how much more you can see when you get to this point where the guy runs at you. I think it's much improved. So one of the other interesting things they've changed, we've talked about the resolution, we've talked about the frame rate. They're really obvious changes, but boring technical changes. They have actually changed some of the level design. So when I say they haven't, it's the Turok you know and love, that's not strictly true. There are some small changes in the levels, and we'll see one very, very soon. They've taken a little bit of artistic liberty with some areas that were less than interesting, I would say, before. So in this scene, after you fight your first Velociraptor here, you'll see in the N64 version that we're seeing now, there's a bunch of vines on the left that you climb up and you get your second key. So we've just picked up the first key. I think you need 5 to finish the level, something like that. It's been a while. So you run around here, you fight your Velociraptor, which is much harder with an N64 controller. We kill the Velociraptor, that's fine, he's dead. And then, if I remember correctly, oh god, this is the thing that I forgot. So the enemies respawn. If you hang around, they, by the power of some alien force, they regenerate. So anyway, we've cleared our Velociraptor, we've cleared these dudes. He throws grenades, I think. And then round this corner, Here we go. There's these little vines, and you climb up the vines, and I think there's one more enemy. Is there? Yeah, there's one more enemy, and then we've got the key. So that's the second key that you need. It's, it's fine. But some people would miss it 'cause it's kind of hidden around a corner, and maybe there's an argument that that's the game design. But Turok kind of got annoying in the end for the amount of really missable things that you had to backtrack and find. So what they've done, they haven't necessarily gone and made it simpler and made it really obvious, because that would be really dull. What they've done is they've added this whole new area. So this little courtyard here with this building, this is completely new. And I was like really surprised when I first got to this. I definitely don't remember this. I remember climbing up the vines and stuff. Yeah, this bit isn't in the original game. So there's a couple of these. I haven't seen many. This is the most obvious one, to be honest. This is the thing that's jumped out at me the most. But I'm kind of okay with it. I think it's a really good change. It's a really cool little combat area. There's a few enemies in here. There's a little moat around this little building. Plenty of places for you to kind of dodge. And the thing that having the game running so silky smooth is that the combat actually feels much better, and it's much more fun. So Turok was always fun for kind of exploring and kind of the world that they created, this world of dinosaurs and these kind of like sci-fi dudes with lasers. But the kind of the one place it fell down was the control of the game. Really pushing the N64 to its limits. It was quite slow. It was using a control scheme that we just hadn't seen before. I mean, we take it for granted now. Dual analog control. Everybody does it. Every game does it. We're totally used to it. When I first played Turok, the N64 controller with its analog stick and its kind of 4 C buttons, for a start, we'd never seen anything like that. That was crazy to get your head around. And I kind of got used to it with Mario 64, making Mario run around with the analog stick. And then you load in Turok, and you have to use your 4 C buttons for movement, forward, back, and strafing, much like you would a right analog stick now. And then you use the main analog stick on the controller to look around. And this all just sounds totally natural now, if you think of modern shooters. But it was alien. It was really bizarre. And it's still a little bit clunky. Like, it's a little bit slow. The analog stick isn't quite as precise as modern sticks, or it doesn't feel as precise in this game, I would say. Yeah, and the combat's just not as smooth. But with the new version, it's actually based on the original PC release of Turok. It's much quicker. It's much easier to control. You've got analog control of your forward, back, and your strafe, as well as you're looking around, because you've obviously got 2 sticks. It's much more fun to run around and shoot dinosaurs in the face. So I think they've done a pretty good job. This isn't a blowaway remaster, or this isn't something that they can go and sell a box copy for necessarily. It's not a Wind Waker HD. It's not an Uncharted collection. This isn't some marvelous thing that's going to suddenly reinvent Turok for a new generation. I feel like it's a release for fans and for nostalgia. And if you didn't put this side by side with the original N64 release, this is probably just how you remember Turok. Like, there's no crazy changes apart from those little level changes that we kind of looked at. In terms of the visuals, yeah, it feels smooth. Yeah, it looks sharp on your new telly. But you're not going to look at it and go, oh, look at all these artistic changes and stuff. Like, this is how you remember Turok looking until you actually go back and play Turok on an N64. And then you realise that, of course, it's running through SCAR or RF. It's not running through HDMI. It's looking for a 480p display, which you're probably not playing it on. You're probably playing it on your LCD or your plasma screen, so it looks all blurry and chunky. And of course, it's got the low frame rate. So I think that's quite nice. I think if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for a bit of nostalgia, if you're looking for a way to play this game that doesn't involve you hooking or trying to hook an N64 up to your TV, I think they've done what they've set out to do. It's probably a little expensive. I think costs $20 each, Turok 1 and 2. So $40 if you want both. That's $16.99 in the UK. And I think that's maybe a little much for the age of the game and for kind of the work that's been done on it. I was happy to play it, but I was happy to pay it because I'm a huge Turok fan. You know, this is ultimate nostalgia for me, but I think it's probably asking a little bit much, to be honest. But you know, I think that depends on the person. So that's Turok Dinosaur Hunter. I couldn't end it without doing a little comparison of the death animation, the falling animation, because I think it's so fun. And then the I am Turok when he reloads in. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting to take a look at these side by side. If anyone's on the fence, if you've seen these pop up on the Xbox store, or you've seen them knocking around on the Steam store, you can see what the comparison is. Because I went into this a little bit blind, and I think it's interesting to look at the work they've done. So there we have it. If you're a huge Turok fan, maybe this is what you're looking for. It's certainly easier than emulating it. Yeah, I'm into it. So probably unlikely to do lots of these comparison videos because it's not really my thing. I don't have the knowledge base or the tools to do full bloody pixel counting and frame rate analysis, and I don't really want to. So it was a bit of a one-off, but I wanted to do something with the new Turok release, and I thought this was a fun way of taking a look at them. So thank you for watching. I hope it's been interesting, and I hope it's been useful if you're thinking of picking this up. And I hope I'll catch you for another video soon. Thanks very much. Bye 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 bye.